Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reviewing the Asus ROG Ally X, the new flagship Windows gaming handheld aiming to solve every complaint about last year's model. Bigger battery, more memory, better cooling, pro-grade controls, and yes, a price bump to match. If you're on the fence about picking one up, or just want to know how the Ally X stacks up versus the Legion Go, I've got all the answers right here. Make sure to stay until the end for the bottom line. The box itself is pretty solid with some nice design cues. In the box, you get the ROG Ally X itself, a 65-watt USB-C charger, and the usual paperwork. No case, no frills, but the star is definitely the device. Right away, you'll notice this isn't the white Ally you might have seen before. It's all black, chunkier, and surprisingly, it feels way more premium and comfy in the hands. In addition, it is not a fingerprint magnet like the Legion Go. The Ally X didn't just come with a bigger battery. It is a little thicker to fit in an 80 watt-hour battery. That's double last year's model. It weighs about 1.5 pounds. But honestly, the new rounded grips and grippier texture are a real upgrade. Comfort goes a long way on a portable that's this powerful. The face buttons and D-pad are clicky and responsive. The macro buttons on the back are now smaller and harder to hit by accident, which is exactly how it should be. Quick pro tip, if you hated the old melted SD card issue, the new location for the micro SD slot alleviated this problem. On top, there are two full USB-C ports, including one USB 4. That means you can charge and use an accessory like an external display or SSD at the same time. Plus, the internal SSD is now full-size M.2 2280, making storage upgrades much easier. I'll put the relevant specs of the Ally X on screen, so go ahead and geek out if this strikes an interest. Let's talk endurance. The Ally X's 80 watt-hour battery is the biggest on any major handheld. Not even the Legion Go or Deck OLED comes close. Heavy gaming, 2.5 to 3.5 hours on performance profile. Mixed use of watching YouTube and playing light titles will get you 6 to 8 hours, sometimes more. Idle video playback can get you up to 9+ hours. Thermals are also much improved. There is now a third vent up top and airflow is reworked. I gamed for hours and the screen stayed cool, and fan noise, while definitely audible, was never distracting. Just like any of the handheld out there, you have the capability to plug it into an external monitor, disable the built-in gamepad, and just play games on the big screen on your sofa with an external controller. This is with the game running at a native 1080p via the USB-C output. We're not here for this though. Let's plug it into my capture card and let's see how other games perform. Alright, here's where the real fun begins. I tested the Ally X on a suite of demanding and popular games at native 1080p. Starting with Wuthering Waves, the game ran perfectly fine with an average frame rate of 49. This is definitely playable, and again, do keep in mind that this is running at the screen native 1080p resolution. This is just downright impressive when compared to the Legion Go. Next up, we have Sniper Elite Resistance. This game ran between 33 and 43 frames per sec. This is a bit too laggy to play, so lowering the resolution to 900p may solve the issue. In Remnant 2, I was able to get 33 to 40 frames per sec. This is barely playable, so if you want to play Remnant 2, it is better to play it at a lower resolution. I was able to get a very decent frame rate of 55 to 70 on 1080p at medium settings in Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. This is definitely a game that can be enjoyed on the Ally. Last but not least, I was able to get 25 to 30 frames per sec in Expedition 33. If I had reduced the screen resolution to 900p, the game would have been much more playable. Here's an FPS chart of all the games that I have tested at 1080p. All the games are tested with FSR on, where possible. The 24GB of RAM is a game changer, especially when AAA games want more than 16GB of VRAM. Stutters and crash-to-desktop moments from other handhelds just aren't happening here. If you want to tweak for max battery, 720p or 900p gets you higher frame rates and longer sessions, but 1080p actually shines on this display. Let's get real for a second. Windows is both a blessing and curse. The big win is you get to use Steam. Epic, Xbox Game Pass, Battle.net, emulators, literally everything in PC gaming. If it runs on Windows, it runs here. But Windows is, well, Windows. Navigating with sticks is okay, thanks to Asus's Armory Crate overlay. But every now and then, you'll be poking the screen or reaching for a keyboard. It's a PC and a portable, so expect a little more fiddling. Would I want SteamOS on here? Kinda. But until Valve makes that easy, this is what power users will deal with to get full compatibility. Let's break it down. At $799, the ROG Ally X is the most expensive mainstream handheld right now. The Steam Deck OLED starts at $549. The Lenovo Legion Go is close on price, but with much less RAM. For premium buyers and AAA gamers, the Ally X is the clear winner for raw performance, battery, and flexibility. For tinkerers, emulator fans, and people needing every launcher, also a win. Because Windows, if you want pure pick up and play, simple UI, or an OLED display, Steam Deck still reigns, especially at lower prices. So, is the ROG Ally X the ultimate Windows gaming handheld? Absolutely. If you want the most powerful, flexible portable in 2025 and can live with some PC quirks, it's not for someone who wants the ultimate simplicity of a console, but for everyone else. For Windows power users, Game Pass nerds, and anyone who wants real AAA gaming on the go, this is the device to beat. If you found this review helpful, please hit that like button. It really helps out the channel. Drop a comment below if you have questions on anything I missed. Subscribe for more honest gaming and hardware reviews every week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.